Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Hi, I'm Larry Kenny, the voice of Lion-O on Thundercats and bluegrass on Silverhawks, and I wanted to make a special announcement that some amazing art of my characters is available now from MBartist.com. Oh, and they're all signed by yours truly. Limited edition, individually numbered with certificates of authenticity, all signed by me, Larry Kenny, at MBartist.com.
How do we block somebody?
That's a good way to start the show. How do we block some? Well, in real life, I don't know. I think it's an
somebody
elbow.
Meaning, you know.
I think it's an elbow there, Joe.
No,
No, back way. You gotta go that way. She's behind you.
no. Look, it's a Jack Kirby effect.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow! How do? When are we starting? We're starting now. Not now, but now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MBartist Alley Live. I'm your host, Stephen Hola. In the number 2 chair, Mustafa, you missed it by a nose. What happened?
I don't know. I logged in at normal time. Just, I guess Joe camped out overnight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Joe.
I thought I was waiting for Springsteen tickets. I'm sorry.
Oh, close enough.
I was gonna say, is this
Springsteen
the
of
line
comic
for
books.
episode 1?
You know, Steve Ahola is the Springsteen of Canada, which says a lot about Canada.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll give you that one, Joe. Look, Lisa is just rolling on the carpet behind you.
I have to get carpet for her to do that. Okay.
It's like, is she a little person crawling out of your back?
Out of my back what? Okay.
Or is she the Muppet? There we go. There's hands. All right. Sounds good.
Muppet Master, please.
Oh, yeah.
I think she looks like a character from The Mandalorian, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Are Jawas furry?
Oh, what?
It depends.
I didn't hear you.
It depends if they've been to the spa or not, I guess. I don't know.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's MBartist Alley. Another week in the trenches. And number 2 is Mr. Joe Rubinstein, legendary inker and finger swapper. He is scrolling and turning. And then also, looks like on the main floor today, holding us up will be DC and Marvel artist Mustafa Musa. How you doing, Mustafa?
Doing good. Staying warm down here.
Yeah, okay, shut up.
No,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
50 or something.
It's a brisk 68 here today, so I got my electric blanket on.
How is that brisk?
What?
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's actually nicer down here than I thought. Sorry.
I ice skate to my car in the morning. That's how much snow we've got down here.
Nobody
Yeah, it's
told you to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I think.
Do you
think
still
raising
see the grass?
Raising children in Canada is amount to child abuse, but you know.
Well, it's a lot like bears. We hibernate in the winter. They
You
want
say
to
you
go
do.
out, but I don't.
Yeah. You know, I used to hang on for dear life throughout winter in New York for spring, and then I used to hang on for dear life at summer for fall. And when one day it occurred to me, you can get on an airplane and go somewhere else where this isn't happening, and I did.
Yeah.
Is that why you left New York?
Well, my girlfriend wanted to leave New York because of 9/11, and I was happy to never be cold again. So that was a good incentive right there. So
There we go.
So see, the rumors are true. I am straight. Okay.
I'm just letting that breathe.
All you girls who were wondering, who want to put in a bid. Hi, Ariel.
Okay, we're gonna start auctioning a date with Joe.
Okay. I'll have to plant a few people in the audience. But
Does he pay them, or how's that work?
Yeah. Like always.
Okay.
Why should this be different? So,
Well, you can tell he beats him off with a stick. Look at
that's extra.
Let's just
Okay, fine.
phrasing.
All right, let's move it along. This isn't the dating game. Anyways, while Joe is shaking babies and kissing. Let's get on to the featured art prints for today. What do we got, ladies and gentlemen? Rock'em Sock'em. We've got G.I. Joe 63 Going Under. Bob McLeod. We've got Mr. Harden's Slave Leia, Mr. J's Lucky Die.
I couldn't get any work done if that was in my studio. I would take frequent breaks.
Francine, who actually made it to Vancouver, Fan Expo Vancouver. This is her Misfits making mischief.
I couldn't. I would have to take frequent breaks if Francine were in my studio also. So.
Our rating just jumped from F to PG.
She's
That's an
missing
F.
her gold.
What's F?
Mr. Family.
Oh, in America.
Oh, we don't have.
G.
Yeah. F means something totally different down here.
Yeah.
Oh, really? What does it mean down there?
It means F the family.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, yeah. All right. Mr. Coker, we've got your Ronin Wolverine.
Is that a new piece? Yeah.
Yeah, I call it the human pincushion.
I know.
James Mulligan, we've got your Robin Hood and Marion.
I think
Oh,
it's
Mr.
James. Doesn't James Mulligan's business card say "too cool for the room"?
No, it's a list of names, and he drops them.
It says, "My dear
Dropping
friend,"
the
and then
card
you fill in
with
the name.
Right. Do you know how many people he's got ready on his computer to post if they die? I mean, it's like
No.
with picture of him and the
Well, how many? Just be ready, Joe. He might have one for you, kiddo.
I hope he has one with Putin. So,
With Putin. All right, Joe. You want to tell us about this piece?
That was my mother-in-law, previous mother-in-law. We didn't get along, but I did buy her this lovely caftan.
It's
I
not
like
easy.
it. I like it. See, it's part of a trilogy of Luke and Obi-Wan, and every one of them is kind of cosmic in that space is showing through them. It was sort of my way of saying that, they went off into the Force altogether, but you can still see through them because they're cosmic. So
Holding hands. Actually,
Yes.
it's funny. We did the auction last week, and we had somebody buy all four of them because it's not really a trilogy. It's a four. What do you call a foragy? A quadrigy?
Foursome.
it's a quadrophenia.
Did you get all that, Jamie?
So my check's in the mail. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move along. Mr. Hebert, Thundercats cover recreation.
So are we hoping, like Dennis Wilson, he will show up during the show in his bed again?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's Coker. Now we have to stop talking about him. Okay.
Yeah. Lobos, we got your Spider-Man. Mustafa, you want to talk about this piece?
Sure. Yeah, I was a fan of classic Clint Eastwood movies and wanted to have I saw like the influence of samurai and westerns in Star Wars, and then in Mando they really kind of amped it up a little bit. So I wanted to have a throwback to those classic posters. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to do this for a while. And then the pandemic was over kind of for a while. So I was like, I got to finish this thing. So I went and finished it.
Did you see that someone, that scene where he's lifting the frog with the forest and Luke's like, oh, yeah, and there's like a whole bunch of frogs?
Yeah.
The one where someone actually took the time to replace the frog with Kermit?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was good. I mean, they're owned by Disney, too. They can have meat Kermit.
What isn't owned by Disney? It's getting to be a shorter list every day.
Batman, I guess. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And then we got some Card Captor Sakura. Let's roll around, Jamie. We have one of your pieces up here we got to talk to you about. And that would be this one right here. What the hell were you thinking?
I wanted Wolverine to suffer. I wanted to make him rethink his lifestyle choices. No, if anything,
are you outing him?
Oh no, nothing like that. It's just, the guy has a superhuman healing factor. He pretty much can seemingly take anything, even though he feels it all. So I just thought, let's go to the nth degree on that and just go ridiculous with it and beat the ever living crap out of him. So that's what we did. Yeah.
And yet, his heart still won't mend over Jean. It's still broken.
This is true. This is true.
I like
This
how
is
on
true.
the top you put a little parsley on the top there around the swords.
Oh, well, the little flags or scarves or whatever the hell they were. I don't know. Just a choice.
Whatever the hell.
I don't know.
All right. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, those are the featured art prints for today. As we are peddling these as always. And if you are so inclined to get one of these, whether it's fine art, platinum, or art print, just simply say claim Harley Quinn, or claim Pincushion, and Love G will take care of you. Or head over to MBartist.com and throw it into your cart, and on the checkout, put in free shipping, and we'll give you exactly that, free shipping. So think about it. Go buy a 40 by 60 bus stop, and we'll give you free shipping on that bad boy. If you want to get a Yoda,
Doesn't it make sense to just send it in a bus?
that's how we send it through UPS.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, let's get it off there. There's the featured art prints, and on with the show. So, what do you want to talk about?
How was the auction last week? You do good?
I think we did better today. We sold a 27 by 40 John Hebert hand solo. We sold some art prints went, and 3 or 4 acrylics went, and card backs.
Cool.
So it was pretty good. It was pretty
so your
good.
Children can eat now.
Yep. It's craft dinner. Craft dinner tonight. We get the splurge. We're getting the name brand. Do they still have that?
What's the cheese usually made with mac and cheese? Is it always cheddar?
That is not cheddar.
What is it? It's
That's
plastic.
some sort of
Synthetic.
processed American stuff, right?
Well, if it's
Well, they do have
American,
the
then
white
it's
one.
better.
You can't get a white cheddar.
You can get white cheddar, yeah.
You can do a white cheddar. I like the white cheddar.
I thought that stuff was made in the lab, like some of the creatures from some of their sci-fi movies, and then they just powder it up, stick it in a box.
You know, Mothra makes good eating. If you ever add a little,
You know what my kids do when they make craft dinner? And every once in a while, I'll go to make craft dinner, and I'll realize those little buggers took out the packet, and they'll double up the packets, and they won't tell you and put it back in the cart. So you go to make it. You've got the noodles, but you don't got the cheese because the kids doubled down.
get some good cheese then, and make like better mac then.
Better Mac?
Yeah.
Better Mac. There you go. Anyway, I have no idea. How did we get on mac and cheese? Oh, I got to feed my kids. That's right.
Right.
I got to do that again tonight. Every day they got to eat. Like, what's going on?
God forbid the creatures that you spawned into this world have to be sustained through food and sustenance.
It is
Damn
so.
it.
It is so accurate. 10 minutes of pleasure for a lifetime of pain.
10
Oh,
minutes.
geez.
Oh my
10
gosh.
minutes. Well, that's all 4 kids combined.
Oh, right.
Oh,
2.5, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
shots
yeah,
fired.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not a show with Joe unless shots are fired.
Wait, I'm shooting one right now. I'm sorry.
Firing a shot.
Okay.
That's why he paused.
Ariel,
Oh,
close your ears.
Jamie, you missed it. We started auctioning off a date with Joe. Do you know what the bid's at?
Really?
Yep, we're auctioning off a date with Joe Rubinstein, and guess what the opening bid is starting at?
1,000.
I can afford $100.
We're still waiting for an opening bid. I know Brandon will at least put a 10
You
in.
know, I have offers from the gay channel, so F you.
That doesn't surprise me.
Gay guys like me.
Just throw that out there. All right, we're opening up the win a date with Joe Rubinstein to all genders. He, she, they, them.
And of course, the date will be a trip to Vegas for 3 days, so that might, sweeten the pot a little bit.
Well, there you go. Joe's
Wow.
forking out to take some lucky winner out there to Vegas.
3 days.
Who wants to start the bidding? All right, we'll leave that there. We'll come back to that. You never know, Joe.
So, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Oh yeah. Hey, how about that season finale?
I didn't see it. Shut up.
Ah, it's so good, man. So good.
I know it's good. I've been watching it. I don't know why. People take opportunities to go online to just talk about how much they hate stuff. It's like
I know.
Peacemaker sucks, Star Wars sucks. I heard it from Mustafa that everything sucks. I mean, it's like
I got it from watching you.
that's because
When
you
you-
suck.
When you
Okay,
talk to me about other artists, I don't know.
I can tell you the good ones.
Who are the
It's
good
a
ones?
short
Joe?
list for you.
It is because
Yeah.
you know what? All art is not good, and all literature is not literature.
And most
Maybe
of
that's-
them are dead.
But there's a
I guess
lot
that's
of
how I feel about pop culture.
right.
Like we accept mediocre.
I can't stand it when people say, "Oh, this is my art," and says, "No, that's a piece of wood you colored green, but I don't know that it's art." But it's like everything that because it's self-declared. This is art. No, it's garbage, but you think it's good.
Joe, you just sharpened that stick for today.
I just read a quote by I think it was the Theodore Sturgeon or Heinlein, one of those guys, who said, "It's not that science fiction is shit. It's that 90% of everything is shit, but the good science fiction is as good as literature of any other form." So it's like there's lots of horrible comic books and have been because comic books were discounted. But when you get a Watchmen or a Swamp Thing by Moore, hey, stuff's good. But it's like when people go to comic book conventions and they interview like the creepiest people on TV. Like, let's find the geeks as a representative of all of us, and he's like wiping his arm and the snot's going to full length of it or something, and it's like, so there's some really good stuff out there, but you got to wade through the 90% of what's not so good and wind up at MBartists.
Wait, what happened? Did we get was that a promo?
I think so.
Yeah, he was talking about the 90%. He was talking about us.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't. I was saying we do good stuff, but
There we go. We're gonna have to roll that back because I fell asleep halfway through it. I was looking for
yes,
bits.
we were talking about your sex life earlier, also.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Wow.
Oh boy.
All right.
Joe. Joe, you're starting to phase out here.
Can
So-
I be artist emeritus? All right,
So meanwhile, while we continue the show as Joe and the gang, Jamie,
cool.
tell us about was it good? Did they end it off well?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving if that's the case.
I'm not going to
I'll
say
be back
anything,
in
Joe.
half an hour. I
Joe,
don't need
Joe,
it.
I will not. No spoilers at all.
There's a
None.
question I want to ask
You want me to get
without
off for
like
10 minutes and then I'll come back and you can.
without spoiling. Like, there's a certain character that I was interested in their
Absence?
existence. No, absence? Nah, I don't give a shit about that. No,
Okay.
he's busy. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
No, their continued existence.
All right. Well, don't tell me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have a clue either because
No, you haven't even met the character yet. You're in Canada.
All right.
Oh, I think I
But-
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
stop
like
making
why?
Canadian jokes. They're too easy.
I
Come
know.
on. They're
I
laying
actually-
there. There's
Low
something
hanging,
good
high
here.
hanging fruit, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like why they chose to do what they did, and then also to not do what they did.
Right.
Did you get
You
all
know?
that, Jamie?
Yeah. No, I did. I think I know exactly what he's talking about. Because as it occurred on the show, I was like, "That's an
Yeah.
interesting choice. Why would you not?"
I think the choice that was made was correct,
Right.
but I don't understand why that character afterward is,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
how's that
No,
without-
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
When you see a bad movie or a bad TV show, I don't know that anybody got together in a room and said, "Let's make a bad movie or a bad TV show." It's like,
Right.
Oh
I mean,
no,
some
everybody's trying.
people don't care,
I-
or some people are just doing it for the money. But I like that last X-Men movie with Phoenix. It was horrible.
Oh.
I mean, it was horrible. And afterwards, the director said, "Yeah, that was all my fault." And it's like, well,
Clearly.
Warren Beatty said, "You have no idea what movie you made till 5 years later."
Well,
You know,
so
when you get some perspective on it.
that's a special circumstance because that dude wrote The Last Stand, which nobody really liked, right?
You mean the
Right.
TV series?
No, no, X-Men: The Last Stand,
I
Oh,
thought
the
you
third
meant
one.
which was
Yeah,
the
the third
original
one.
Dark Phoenix movie, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
it
That
had
was
some
bad.
good visuals. It had some good visuals, but it wasn't a very good story.
But
Anyway,
right.
he got to write and direct this movie.
Friends here, clean up your act.
Yeah,
Come
all
on.
right, buddy. Put your clothes on there,
Who
buddy.
are we talking about?
We're talking about you, Fran, and how wonderful you are, and how you should have starred in the X-Men movie.
And I have to
Well,
clean up my act? Okay.
And turn on a light while you're at it.
Fran, do you want to go to Vegas?
Yeah, it can happen.
Fran, we're
Wait.
auctioning a date with Joe Rubinstein, and part of
3
the
days
date
in
he could
Vegas.
take you to Vegas.
Are you,
And
Joe?
the sweet-
Wow.
But the
Are you
sweetener
doing the
is,
Vegas show this weekend?
I don't know. But the sweetener is you don't have to see me for those 3 days. So now it's a lot of incentive.
Oh, then I'll go.
Okay.
Shoot,
So,
I'll win that date. Are you, Joe? Are you going to the Vegas show this weekend? Is that what you're?
no, I didn't know there was one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
level up.
Yeah, there's level up. Yeah, I thought
So-
maybe that was it.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to bring you up to speed. Oh, she's out of the dark. Miss
Okay,
Fran
yeah.
Delgado has joined us from lovely Vancouver.
It's so freaking cold today. It was snowing in Vancouver. Snowing
Who told
today.
you to move there?
I don't
I'm
know.
freezing
Nobody
here in LA
told me.
at
to
68 degrees. I have to put on socks.
Well, I want to circle back. Can you name anybody else that had a second kick of the can to do the same movie and failed twice?
Yeah, see, he was just a writer originally. He got to be director, so it's really when he says it's his fault, it is his fault. It's his fault.
Why do you say
He
second?
wrote it
Why do you say second kick of the can?
because he wrote Last Stand.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
he got to write the Dark Phoenix movie again, basically,
Yep.
and direct it this time because
okay,
you know,
I'm
he earned that.
confused. Was The Last Stand a different movie?
Yeah, X-Men: The Last Stand. That was the one with the Dark Phoenix story.
Is
Wolverine has
that
to,
the third one?
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
Yeah.
that third
Yeah.
one.
Three.
Oh,
And then they did the one that we don't like.
And he's written on X-Men stories. He's maybe the primary writer, but he's written on X-Men stories since because I guess people stick with what they're
What?
familiar with.
He's got
what's the
the-
name? What's the name of the director that direct the first two of the X-Men?
Brian Singer?
yeah,
Brian
Singer.
Singer, yeah.
Yeah,
He also did Days of
everything
Future Past.
everything will be different. It's freaking Brian Singer will just keep directing the stupid three
Well,
movies,
sure.
but no, he has to move to Superman and fuck it in Superman too.
You didn't,
So
I wonder-
everything that you're talking about is Brian Singer fault. So there you go.
Yeah, he
Is Brian
screwed
Singer
two
Canadian?
franchises in one summer.
Well, I mean, his movies aren't that bad, are they?
That's why it's his fault because he
That's
do
a-
Oh,
he
it's
did a
his
very
fault 'cause
good.
he didn't do them. Oh,
Yeah, it's his fault because he do very good 1 and 2.
yeah, but
Before
but,
he finished what he started, he moves to something else.
but
So
but
we have
First
now
Class
a very
was
bad
really
three.
good. X-Men First Class, that was a really good movie. I like that movie.
Yeah, but that's
I wa-
not Brian Singer.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's
I
Matthew
wonder if the last Phoenix movie wasn't any good because if they'd actually exploited the cosmic thing and had her in space and destroying planets, it would have just been too expensive. So they scaled it down to Earth because
Honestly, I haven't seen it. It didn't.
I
look-
mean there was so much potential there that wasn't done anything with.
Well, originally the aliens were Skrulls, but Marvel nixed it.
Right.
Marvel
You know,
nixed-
you gotta admire Marvel for interweaving their movies and paying attention to this character. Like I was just watching Jessica Jones, and I'm catching up on it, right? And
Yeah.
Foggy Nelson shows up for one scene, and I paid no attention to him whatsoever. And then, of course, he winds up in Daredevil. So they're always like planning 20 moves ahead and who's going to be where. And it takes a lot of work, and I admire that they care about this stuff.
Joe, do you have an opinion on Jeff Loeb?
I don't. I mean, I know he's executive producer on the TV
Yeah.
shows.
Because I think he was a big reason that those shows felt so connected on Netflix.
I'm sure of it, and I also know that the actors on it, unless they're kidding themselves, really like him a lot. He seems to be a good person who's helping the things to be quality. Because you know, who wants to be on a comic book? Like, let's say you're drawing a script or you're inking something, and you read it, and it's like it's awful, and you know you're going to spend hundreds of hours to produce this thing, that at the end you're not going to be proud of. You know, people are going to go up to you and says, "Why is that story so bad?" Well, I wasn't in control of it, you know. So if you're spending thousands of hours making a TV show, it's nice to believe you got something at the end that you care about, and apparently Jeff Loebs does, and interweave all the stuff together. Jeff, I'm here. I'm available, Jeff. By the way. Okay.
I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah, if you are here, please. I'm available. That was a good one.
You should take him to Vegas there, Joe.
Hey, maybe he's available.
Maybe he's available. We're still waiting for that opening bid. If
there's no Netflix cartoon,
they don't know where to bid, so shut the fuck up.
Wow.
I think I'm supposed to do an appearance at a Torpedo Comics in Vegas at some point.
Oh, cool.
And or possibly Desert Winds.
Have you been to Torpedo before?
I was at their Orange County store, and it was very good. It's small, but very well conceived, you know. And I hear their warehouse is enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vegas spot's pretty cool. It's a former bank, and they converted it. Fran, how was Vancouver?
Cold.
Snowy.
No,
the show.
Oh, the show. Oh, yeah, the show was not snowy. The show was good for me. Fell short because I was there only half of the show. I was the slacker one. But everybody says this was a particular show. They did Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because Monday was a holiday.
Yeah, why did they
This is
do
the first
that?
time. Because it was family day. They felt like, okay, everybody's gonna be out. They have nothing to do. Come to the show. That was basically what they were expecting. But what I heard is like their first day. That was what?
You got to give context. They have no idea what you're talking about. Up here in Canada, we decided that in February we needed to have another holiday, so they made Family Day a national holiday. So essentially, Fan Expo Vancouver falls on the same weekend, and instead of a Friday being a holiday, we do Monday. So that's why they did Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Didn't we have?
They have never done that before.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, like you guys just didn't want to have President's Day, so you just called it Family Day.
Well,
we don't have president.
We'll look at the president. Yeah. Right. We don't have a president.
Right.
We would call it Prime Minister Day, but we don't like him either. So Family Day it is.
Trudeau Day.
Yeah, Trudeau. No. That would cause riots.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Prime Minister, right?
Prime Minister.
What's the? I want to know the etymology behind that because, like, is there like secondary minister, third minister?
Oh, college.
Well, I was talking about Fan Expo, so we can talk about politics later.
I read comics. Yeah, just prime. I don't know.
Expo. We adopted the Britain model.
No, I know that it's on your money.
So, Fran, was it a good convention financially?
For lots of people, yes.
Okay.
That says
Chad
not
said
for me.
Did you see Chad?
Yeah, I was sitting next to him. He did great, and the guys. A lot of people did great, and this is what they told me. The first day of the convention, that was Saturday, they said it was crazy, packed up. Nobody fit in that place, and people. It was 2 years without conventions here in Vancouver. So it was this one is the first one after COVID. So it seems like everybody was very eager and they were willing to spend a lot of money, and that was Saturday. So everybody came in to spend on Saturday. Then when they said it's Sunday, because it's Sunday, a lot of people went to shop or do other stuff. So Sunday was like not that good. And then Monday was again good. A lot of people, but they were not so willing to spend as they were on Saturday. So that's what I heard from any other vendor that were there. And yeah, for me it was cool. It was very nice. I went to a sketch duel with a couple of guys that I never met before. And yeah, the public with their weird stuff, they were asking us to do like, as always, the weirdest things. And one of the guys just asked to mix Sailor Moon with steampunk, and I like that one. And then they allow us to pick every single artist could pick their favorite option, and that was nice. And I talked with a couple of people that went to the panel after they passed by the table and got buy some stuff, and I sell out all
Fran-
my
Fran-
old comics. So that's good.
Fran, when you
What-
speak,
what?
would you mind if I put the subtitle app on?
You can do that, but the subtitle thing never understand me. So
All right, because that makes two of us. It's like
Anyway.
I know I'm missing gems here somewhere. Okay.
You guys need to grow up in Texas. I understand every word.
I understand.
hey.
Like you just sound like my friends I grew up with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Joe, Anna Marie just bid 35. Oh, wait, no, that's just the temperature.
You know,
No,
I was in Brazil in this convention that's like 5 times the size of San Diego Con.
Woo.
And it's very cool because they give everybody in the audience a headpiece for translation, and everybody on stage translation. So the person will say something in Portuguese, and then I'll know what they're saying, all that stuff. And the great part was, because of all this translating, for the first time ever, I understood what John Romita Jr. was saying. It was great. Because he's from Jersey, you know.
I like that. I need one of those.
Would the translator do a lot of this?
I think if you had a translative device, you and your relationship might fall apart. But whatever you want. Okay.
What?
But you finally understand what you're saying to each other.
Oh, come on, Joe.
Okay, fine.
So I had a meeting with the Fan Expo guys yesterday. So the good news is it looks like shows are back because they're not accepting any submissions now until Toronto. So they said that they're oversold for Toronto, Philadelphia, Orlando, and Cleveland. Cleveland is just topped up.
What do you
Yeah,
mean submissions?
they said that for New Orleans too.
Right. What do you mean
Oh, I
submissions?
actually talked to them about that. It was interesting. They said, yeah, we were overbooked for New Orleans, and then Omicron happened, and we went from 75 guests to 25 guests.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot of space. A lot of
Yeah.
space in New Orleans.
Yeah, I heard you
Yikes.
guys could play frisbee out there in the aisles.
Yeah, not hit anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, you
It was,
can't.
still, it was still a fun weekend. I was still good.
Well, here's hoping. I'm hoping. I got good thoughts that we're gonna finally get back to normal. We had our little.
What?
Bidding just went up.
Joe
Somebody check on Joe.
may not agree.
Oh, I thought this was a snuff film for a second.
You said normal, and it just blew me away.
I thought Lisa just had enough.
Lisa had enough a while ago.
Lisa found a boat
Lisa
oar.
puts up with a lot.
Anyways,
I'm being held hostage if somebody wants to save me from Lisa. By the way.
Oh man.
Invite her to Vegas.
yeah, invite her to Vegas. There you go. Anyways, I'm happy to hear that Vancouver was a success. I thought it was a little bit of an odd format, but when it was explained to me that it was anchored off of Family Day, and apparently they're going to be doing that moving forward, I thought that was interesting.
Well, you know, in Salt Lake City, the convention is Thursday through Saturday because Sunday is God's Day.
It's so weird too. Over there, like on Saturday, it's till 8 p.m. and then everybody has to pack up.
Yeah.
You just pack up at 8 p.m. on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. And then you just hang out.
And
at
it's
the
weird.
hotel while you're
And it's
sober.
weird because you're back home on a Sunday and you go, what do I
Yeah.
do now? It's Sunday.
Right.
So, does anybody have any oddball ones like that this year?
Any convention with you.
Yeah. Thank
Dragon
you.
Con is always till Monday.
Like, is
Oh,
Dragon
yeah,
Con
yeah.
busy on Mondays?
Dragon Con is busy every hour of every day.
Really? Very
Yes.
cool.
Actually, it wasn't good for me the first time I was there last year. And
Well, it
surprised
was
it's
still
slow.
like, it was like right after Delta was getting a lot of people concerned, right?
Yeah, but it was reasons. But, you know, I thought I'd be overwhelmed because you hear Dragon Con is so
It
busy.
normally Dragon Con is just a beast. Yeah.
And I just got an announcement to make. Francine is coming to Toronto.
Francine's
Francine,
what?
what?
Francine sent me her list.
Oh,
Francine says, "Is this locked down now, Francine? I can stop shifting you all over the place."
yeah, Toronto should be fun. I've never been.
Here, so apparently Francine wants me to let everybody know that she's going to be doing Toronto Comic Con, MegaCon,
Yes.
Dallas, woo, San Diego if it happens. Oh, I got an email from San Diego. You know what they said to me? They said they
What is it?
they have a 5-year wait.
Last year.
I was like, but I want this
Yeah.
year.
They didn't have it last year because nobody was attending to their convention.
Yeah, Mustafa, I don't know if you're going to get in this year. Apparently, they have a 5-year wait.
Honestly, I fully expect that.
I didn't get in. I didn't get in because they said they wanted to try new people.
I've only been at it 23
You're
years
not
now.
considered new anymore, Joe. I don't think you've been new for a while.
I'm definitely not. But you think like, wait a second, we got Jack Kirby or Rob Liefeld? Yeah, Rob Liefeld. Yeah, we can go. Yeah.
Well, it's because he knows how to draw feet. ECCC. So apparently, Francine wants to go to Seattle again, and
I've been trying to do Seattle for the last 2 years and always something happened.
so you want to do Fan Expo Canada, but you put maybe. Why is it a maybe?
Because I want to go to Emerald City as well. And if I'm going to Comic Con Toronto in March, they're like, Fan Expo Toronto is also Toronto. So it's
It's two different. One's a smaller show, one's a bigger. Is it the same venue?
It's the same venue. The Comic Con Toronto is about a quarter the size of Canada. So it's roughly 30,000 people for the March show, and it's 140,000 for the
Yeah,
August.
but 30,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
Oh no! Like it's still a good show, but the big one, they call it Fan Expo Canada. So
Just
they
encompasses all of that.
Yeah. So it's and essentially the Metro Toronto Convention Center is 2 buildings and it's connected by a walkway. So they take like one. So the Toronto one's roughly the size about Boston. Okay. And then the Canada one is like Chicago, except it's over 2 buildings. Like I guess you could say it's comparable to New York, but it's over 2 buildings.
And Calgary is supposed to be really good too. It's like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, Calgary, you're going to get about roughly 80 to 100,000.
Okay, so,
yeah,
so
Calgary is soon, right? Also, Calgary is
Yeah,
happening.
I think it's in May.
okay, so you have better insight on this, Steve, than anybody I know. What's the deal with traveling up there to Canada?
Apparently, after this week, first week of March, you don't have to worry about anything anymore. Just bring your green card.
Green card.
I mean, your passport.
Okay. All right. Good.
That's what they keep saying, but let's see.
Then I will see you guys in Toronto.
Yeah. So you do not need a test if you're vaccinated. If you're fully vaccinated and you have proof of vaccination, you get the pass go and collect your $200 on the way through. If not, they're gonna make it a living hell for you.
Yeah, but that's 200 Canadian, so that's 187. So.
Oh my god!
Just less than that, huh?
Well, after this morning, it went down. So
Yeah. Woo!
Again?
Let's get into that, huh?
no, let's not. Yeah, we started talking about shows and everybody just kind of died off. I think we got to go back to Peacemaker.
Naturally.
Oh my god!
Jamie, you've been very quiet.
Oh man, I'm just listening.
Jamie, you look cold. Like you're wearing a lot of clothes for indoors.
You look like Chili Willy.
Well, it's cold outside, man. We just had a huge snowstorm the other day. It dropped like 14 inches on us in like a matter of hours.
Well, I mean, I understand it's cold, but like, are you in a basement or something, or?
No. The murder basement is separate. I keep that completely separate.
Well, you
All
want to
the
dress
chains-
light for the murder basement. You want to be able
Well,
to.
yeah.
Be
I mean, because there's a lot of activity down there. You know, there's the chains you got to polish.
You
got
can
the-
work up a sweat in a hurry. I understand. I get it.
Yes, exactly. You understand. Yeah.
I do. I don't have a basement, but I just have a murder attic. Yeah.
So at what point in the States do they stop doing basements? Because I know like California, Texas, Florida, they don't believe in basements. Somewhere
we're along the
north and
water.
south.
We're along the water. And
I thought Texas has like tornadoes and they have to have basements.
no, we have hurricanes. Tornadoes are more north, like Oklahoma and Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas and all that. Yeah.
No, I mean, we're under sea level, so like it just wouldn't make sense. It would just sink. So like we build from up. We don't dig into the earth. Yeah.
Their houses come with flotation devices
and guns.
Yeah.
We had a flood. We started in Houston and ended up in Dallas. Anyways, so nobody knows specifically where the line is where basements are okay. No. Well, you have a
Non-coastal
basement, don't you?
states.
You have your murder basement there in Minnesota. So
Yeah.
we know Minnesota.
Oh,
Eric,
yeah.
do some research. Where is the Mendoza line for basements?
I was in the house designed by Frank Lloyd Wright Jr. where the Black Dog he was murdered in. So that didn't have
Ooh.
a basement. That had a side secret room where the wall went over. So you might want to think
Wow.
about that next time you buy a house. So,
Huh.
Yeah, that's cool. I think every house should have a hidden room,
A secret room.
a secret room, like Jamie's murder basement.
Yeah, well, we call it the collectibles room, but you know what really goes on down there.
Oh God.
are you full of
Yes,
King
yes,
Cobra?
Brendan. But where is sea level? Brendan says, I think Mustafa.
The
explained
coastal
it.
states.
Okay, but where?
So you want a dividing line of like, say, Centerville, Texas? What are you asking? I'm saying the states.
Well, there's got to be. Like, I understand sea level, but where is the line on sea level? Is it Utah? Is it North?
I don't.
Dakota?
I'm not. Maybe we're getting lost in translation. I'm saying the states that are along the water, right? So
Yeah.
like Louisiana, no. The state above it would be Arkansas. Arkansas, maybe yes.
Yeah, but New York's on sea level. They have basements.
Do they have flooding?
Well, I'm not in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Long Island was destroyed by one of the hurricanes.
I know there was a hurricane, but like that was hurricane. Like that's not just like rain. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll get rain.
Right.
A hurricane will cause flooding. Yes, I get it. But like we'll have a lot of rain. And
Yeah,
it'll
but you're
flood.
in Houston. You may be below sea level, but you're not along a coastal line.
We are 40 minutes from the water. Actually, 20 minutes if you want to go Kima.
Okay, I'm not talking
wow.
about how fast you drive, Mustafa. I'm talking about the water
That's
line.
true. Well, okay, 15.
Do you work hard at losing the audience, or is it just a gift?
Oh, it's a gift.
I think it's a Canadian.
They love hearing our convention schedules and about basements. I mean, they're like flipping.
Well, you won't let us talk about Peacemaker, and I can't get a bid on your date, Joe. What else do I have left?
You know, you're just gonna bear that down to nothing. All right. So,
Brandon's still here.
okay, I got a question.
Brandon or Brendan?
I got
Both of them.
a question for you, artists and Stephen.
All right.
Oh my God.
So, what is the kind of tools, supplies you use in your profession that, like, do you have to have like everything in the world to be Francine Delgado and have computers and markers and pencils and brushes, or like Mustafa, you have like 2 pens and a brush?
Well,
I try to pare it down. The older I get, the less I use.
Right. Because I work in oil and pastel and charcoal and comics and markers and all that stuff. I have like the whole place is 5 different kind of media. I have to have everything around here because you never know what job's going to pop up today. But you, Jamie, as a penciler, I don't know, reference books, templates, pencils, you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I my non-photo blue lead, my lead holder, Bristol board, and iPad can pretty much get me through. Oh, and a Micron pen. Micron pens. That's about it. Yeah.
And the iPad has taken the place of a reference files.
Yeah.
Because you can find anything.
I mean, it was
Pretty much.
iPhone there for a while,
Talk
yeah.
faster, they're coming to get you.
Oh my God, is that John? Is John being taken in an ambulance?
It's not me,
It's not me.
Fran. Yeah, it's Fran.
Yeah, that was me. I tried to mute it, but it was too late.
That was
I mean,
pretty
no,
loud,
I'm
Fran.
saying,
And look
I
at her
don't-
expression. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know.
I'm
who's doing
saying
it.
about art stuff that you need to use.
Yeah.
For me, it's not about like how much things you need, but also the ones that I have. I have a lot of stuff that probably I don't use so much, but I like markers. So I gotta have all the markers. I like paint and rendering with markers. So I have some that I almost never use, but you never know when is the good opportunity, the right opportunity to use that one that you want.
Do you care if your work has faded in 30 years from now? Do you get just the right markers or like whatever?
I like water markers. I know that probably they are gonna fade more than other type of markers, but okay, I can scan it and take a picture that will last longer than the original piece, probably. But that's a good point.
I'm talking about the collector. Like, do you care that a collector has bought a piece of artwork from you and 30 years from now it's not there?
What do you mean
That
it's
may
not
happen.
there?
I mean, it fades.
The marker
Like,
is going to fade out.
It'll look all green and
If you
gross.
look at Gil Kane's work and you look at Alex Toth's work, they all used markers and they've gone to yellow and purple and blue, and they're going to be gone soon if somebody
But-
doesn't hire me to recreate, to like restore them.
But is there
Very
something to be
subtle, Jeff.
said about the quality of what they used back then versus now? And the
I don't know.
paper.
I don't know if anything can withstand sunlight. Firstly, if anybody
Yeah.
puts their stuff
Yeah,
in their
don't-
hallway, it's gone. You
Yeah.
know? So, but
At that
it's
point,
like,
it's not the marker's fault, though.
like Neil Adams, and when I say Neil Adams, of course I mean Satan. When Neil would do his paintings on Tarzan, he'd use Dr. Martin's dyes. They're gone. They're not. He used black ink first to start, then he colored over them, and they're gone. Now, the collector who bought it for whatever $10,000 might have a problem with that.
Well, they
So-
do now.
I want to ask you something.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something. How often do you think about when you see like how much artwork is going now for, you know, not the best pages, but maybe pages that were just from the 80s or 90s? How often do you think about how you would have just wish you could have just held on to all of that?
I'm not your bitch. I'm not answering that.
I thought we were asking questions. I'm sorry.
This top
Yes.
might see, he'll start crying.
Okay, fair
Right,
enough.
But that brings up an interesting point. My Wolverine #1 cover was insured for $350,000, which proves
Wow.
I can't afford me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, is it that valuable? And you know, like one page in Wolverine probably goes for like $5,000, and the really good ones go for $50,000, and all right. So it's like, but is that because this guy bought it from that guy, bought it from that guy, bought it from that guy? And if they were still sitting in my drawer and said, okay, I'd like to sell these, and somebody goes, okay, that'll be $2,000. Just that sounds like good money. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yes, and the thing is, it's like, so I should have saved that work 40 years ago. So should I be saving this work now?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like the
Because
stuff
I'm
that
not
you
gonna be
work
here.
on now,
Yeah.
do you feel like, oh, maybe I should just hold on to this? Like if you already got paid for it, if it's not a commission, you know?
You know, my attitude in those days was, I'm done with it. It's not as
Yeah.
good as it should have been. Let it get out of the house. And
Yeah.
when I got the
And
money for it, I
Also,
went,
how would you know, right? Like, how would you
Yeah,
know,
you
like Wolverine #1 was gonna become such an iconic character?
Right.
There
No, I
was
had
no
no
way to
idea.
know.
or
Yeah.
or the Thanos stuff with the
Yeah.
Judge Perez thing. You know, Herb Trimpe gave away the first appearance of Wolverine on the back of Hulk, right? That last page of the Hulk. He gave that to this kid who mowed his lawn, and I don't know why, because the kid wasn't into comic books.
Oh,
Yeah.
And like 50 years later, the kid sold it because somebody said, you know, this is worth something. And I think he sold it for like $60,000, and he was nice enough to give Herb like 10 or 20 of it.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's like or it's look, nothing's worth anything unless somebody wants it.
Well, it's
So-
just it's a lot of stuff that's just kind of, I don't even want to say mediocre, but just stuff that's existed long enough to be important to people, right?
Just
Like
some-
they grew
yeah,
up
yeah.
they grew up at 10 years old or whatever reading this stuff, and now they have money. And like you see, like what is it? The first appearance of Miles Morales, right? The book was all digital. The drawings were all digital, but the cover was done traditional. So the cover went for like $650,000.
Really,
And the book's only like 10 years old, and it's Mark Bagley art, which
which
you
is
know,
good
well, it's good, but nobody's ever spent that much on Mark Bagley art, you know.
because look, you could buy a Conan, John Buscema, Tony DiZuniga page, genius,
Mm-hmm.
for nothing because Conan wasn't on it. Nobody cared about the art. Nobody
Yeah.
said this is brilliant stuff. They went, is Conan, putting a sword through somebody on that page? I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is, you can sell one 500 page faster than 5 $100 pages because everybody wants the splash. Everybody wants the big scene. And it's like, well, there's this beautiful page here of people sitting around having drinks in a bar by John Buscema and says, I don't care. So and when people say, what do I sell my stuff for? I don't sell my stuff. I sell the penciler stuff. Did I ink Jack Kirby or Dale Keown or Gil Kane, or did I ink Ron Wilson? It'll change the price entirely, however good I am at what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
So I shouldn't have to worry about selling this because it's just going to disappear in a year?
No, because keep it out of the sun.
He won't mention
Is there
about
sun up
markers
there? I
because
don't
the
think there's
markers
sun
that
up
I
there.
use
No.
are easy
Clearly.
to disappear.
Yeah, no, those are gouache. Those are meant to last thousands of years.
Yeah,
Okay.
the sun has not made appearance yet. It's still on the side of milk cartons looking to be found.
But oil paint gets lighter, transparent as it gets older. So when you look at paintings in museums that have a certain translucent quality to them, like the collars on old Dutch masters, that only happens over 300 and 400 years because this paint is starting to get thinner, allowing things to show through. Watercolor is the same way. Acrylic and gouache are not that way. So they will be more permanent than something like markers or even oil paint. Again, if you keep them out of the sun.
Joe, do you draw on your tablet at all?
I bought that $6 Procreate app, and I used to do stuff on it on plane flights. But then I just decided to go draw instead on the plane. I did the charcoal head on my app. Took 4 times as long as if I just used charcoal. But I also didn't know that you could zoom in and out because I didn't know the first thing about it. But I'm still trying to figure out how to use like 16th century technology, like ink and oil. But
if you guys haven't seen it, his iPad doodles look really great. Like doing something without even knowing how to pinch and zoom and all of that, his stuff still looks great on.
no, well, thanks. I didn't know you felt that way, but thank you.
I bet you Fran
I
is the
saw it
complete
over.
opposite.
Because if you think about it, when you're painting in paper, you don't need the stupid zoom in and out. So it's the same thing.
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're painting, you already know what you're doing.
Yeah.
The thing that happens when you do it the opposite is like if you're used to zoom in and out, or you used to Control C, every time that I'm drawing on paper, I find myself doing this. I'm like, oh,
Some 12-year-old out there is on a piece of paper with a pencil doing this on the
Right.
paper, trying to make it bigger.
yeah, I keep doing that. And with the other hand that I have just there laying down on whatever, I keep doing this. I keep doing Control C.
Right.
Yeah.
I
The undo. Yeah.
Right. I assume the best people in the industry work at Disney. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I've assumed.
Oh, thank you.
I arranged who are still at Disney. I assume.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I arranged for a painting class at LAFA, which is the LA Academy of Figurative Arts, with my magnificent teacher Max Ginsberg to do oil painting. So like half the class was Disney people being paid by Disney for further education. These people, almost without exception, were really terrible because they didn't have a Control Z button and they didn't know how to go back and fix it.
Nope.
And And I mean, obviously, watercolor is not oil and computer is not pencil, but it's like you get very complacent if you think, well, whatever I do, I can just get rid of it and start again. It says, well, no, you can't. You know, you have to know what you're doing as the steps progress. So
Yeah, you kind of lost that thing that I'm gonna draw a line and I have to commit with that line.
mm-hmm.
Because you think like, everything is just disposable. This doesn't work, Control C.
Right.
Oh, this doesn't work, Control C. But when you don't have that, when you're like drawing directly with and medium that is more permanent, like what, or like oleo, I don't know the name, or something that is not like it's more permanent. Yeah.
Right.
So you have to commit with the line. You have to do a line, and if that is not the line you want, you have to work with it and see how you make it work now.
Have you ever been in a hotel room watching a TV show and you miss something and you go to rewind and you go, oh wait, not every TV rewinds except when I'm home. You know, so you just get used to thinking I can erase this, I can move this, I can layer it. It's like, no, that's it. You're stuck with that first one.
I have missed live conversations that I wish I could rewind. People are just standing there talking. I'm like, wait, what'd you say? And try to rewind it. And
Yeah.
It's gone forever.
Well, that's where I think the problem is with schools is they've now relied so much on the technology aspect. It's become a crutch instead of a tool. And every time I talk to kids who ask me about drawing, it's like, go traditional, go tactile, learn how to commit.
Yes. And
Well,
also, yes, but also no, because talking about the industry and how the schools go more technological now, I recently got into this course with a guy that used to be Disney guy. Now he's working in another studio. And he's teaching a class to design sets with VR. So how freaking cool that sounds. I have a lot of designers working with me, under me, that they are designing sets. And I'm just thinking the amount of time that they will save if they will do it this way will be incredible. And when you are designing, like for example, with a VR, as a designer, you are not just only making a drawing dimensionally that you can show to the director and then tell you, okay, the character is going to be standing on this door, and when you look that way, you see you're going to be the peak of the whatever. So it gives you so much power to tell the story that you want to tell when you are just designing. So that's what I'm saying. Traditionally is great. You have to have all the knowledge traditionally that is gonna help you to have a composition and all those knowledge you needed. But designing something in a 3D environment already, that is over.
Yeah, but you're basically just validating my point, because you're talking about tools that is making it easier, faster, and giving you more creative freedom because of the technology. But if you don't have the base in terms of anatomy, color theory, perspective, if you don't have those down, then the tool becomes a crutch, and then you're basically using it as a cheat, and you're not understanding why. If you can't break the rules until you know the rules.
Well, yeah, learning digitally instead of traditional is like learning to run before you walk, right?
Yeah. You know, I have a thing called an electric eraser, which fixes my mistakes, right? In the old days, all those old pages from the 40s have tons of white paint on them because they needed to correct it somehow. So obviously technology has helped a lot and sped things up. But it's... Sorry, I'm going somewhere with this.
No, that's okay. While you're thinking about that, can you hold up that eraser? I think it doubles as a power drill.
Oh, it does.
Look at that thing.
Because those little dinky ones you buy just don't even work anymore, you know? And the thing is, they're not manufacturing them much anymore either. So you have to get them on eBay and you know, but they save your life, and technology is great, you know, but I forget where I was going. You should learn to draw. How's that? You should learn to draw.
Yeah. Here's one exercise I don't think the kids are doing enough of these days, because usually when you do traditional or when you open up a computer, it's a white palette, right? You got a white palette and they just naturally go, okay, we're going to go black. However, one of the exercises that really helped me understand light and dark and contour and everything was when you got a dark piece of paper and you had a white pencil.
Oh yeah.
It forces you to flip your thinking in terms of carving it out and using the eraser as a tool to create, as opposed to eliminating mistakes.
And the other part is, you think whatever color you're putting down is cool, and it's still warm compared to black, and so everything's turned on set. Oh, and what I remembered I wanted to say was, Brent Anderson wanted to get me to ink Astro City, that fantastic series he's been doing for like 30 years, and I would have loved it because I think it's great. But then he realized that he could draw a background in 1/4 of the time because the computer just went and so he just decided to digitally ink all his own work. But eventually he started to solicit commissions because he was so missed drawing, missed holding the paper, and I didn't realize that modern day sculptors on action figures do it on a computer, and then a computer sculpts it.
Yep.
And I keep thinking that must be so unsatisfying for these people to watch their thing happen, but not to create it, in effect.
Well, it's no volume at that point, right? You gotta make so many.
Oh yeah. I mean, I understand. Yeah. Look. If I'm rushing on a deadline and I got to do a bunch of portraits, I'll trace the photograph. But after doing that 3 or 4 times, I'll think, God, can I draw? Will I know how to do this if I don't trace again? But it's reality. You got to get the thing done, and it's great. We have all these tools, and we have FedEx, and we have email that gets this to you in 10 seconds instead of FedEx tomorrow. But ultimately, again, I think you as an artist, you want to feel it happen, not see it happen on a computer screen.
Well, that's in animation. I feel the same way, because you don't see classical animation anymore. I miss flipping the page. Like, I remember, like, I still have my Nelvana desk here that I actually flipped keys, like flipped Disney keys going like this. Right. And you just don't do that in computer animation. In computer animation, you pose the key frames, and then the computer will fill in the in-betweens. So the acting is more or less done by the computer. Yeah. Where I remember I would flip it, and as I'm doing it, so like the base one that we do is the meow exercise, because when you say meow, your mouth goes through all the possible shapes. Yeah, everybody's doing it now. All the possible shapes that you can do in the English language is all said in meow. So when you flip it, I remember you'd be drawing the character and doing the mouthpiece, and you would go, you're actually acting while you're drawing.
Well, you do it also in comic books. You put the expression on your face, you're drawing or inking to feel where the pulls are. But if Jack Kirby tried to get a job today, he wouldn't get it, because that was his first job. He's an in-betweener, and he's been replaced by computers.
Yep. And that's where I cut my teeth in. Like that's where I started. I was a rough in-betweener. So, anyways,
the audience again.
I think we lost everybody now. We're down to us and Brandon.
And that's different. How?
I don't know. I actually did some paid ads.
I did really, really enjoy these conversations, but I think maybe we should have some sort of
Shouldn't you sell something? Yeah, shouldn't you sell something? It's on the hour.
It's on the hour. All right, guys. So Anne-Marie's here too. So we have 2 people.
Here.
Anne-Marie's here too. But I can tell you right now, we start talking about Boba Fett. We start talking about Boba Fett, the audience will come back. Especially when Fran starts talking about how upset she was about Ghostbusters.
Hey, that guy.
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we have some kind of program so people know, like, today we're going to talk about this stuff or this other stuff. They will come up to the ones that they felt more interested in.
Or we encourage them to ask questions and we answer
instead of just keep us here in bitching all the time.
So basically, you're saying I should actually focus on doing a format.
Posting.
Comes up.
Yeah. So speaking of format, We do
Bueno,
have a
dicho yo,
little
lo han
bit.
dicho tú, querido amigo.
As they say in French, we have un petit peu of a format. At the top of the hour, we go back and we revisit the featured art prints that nobody has claimed.
Top of
So
the hour.
let's do that. Let's roll through the featured art prints. Bob, where are you? 12 minutes needs to be eaten up now. G.I. Joe 63, we got your G.I. Joe.
When we don't have the 12 minutes of Joe here,
Of Joe?
No,
Joe,
Joe, no,
yeah,
sorry,
way
of
more
Bob.
than 12.
No, yeah, of Bob. Next
You'd be
time
so
it's
lucky to
gonna
get
be
12 minutes
24.
off of me.
Hey, Joe.
Okay.
8 minutes is the zipper. Anyways, Chad Harden, we've got your slave Harley Quinn, Mr. J's lucky day. Hey, Fran, you want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, it says we are the Misfits. That's it. It's a Gem and the Holograms cartoon that was very popular around the 80s. And these gals here is the opposite band. So the cartoon was about a group of rock and roll singers. And these folks that you see on the screen is the bad guys. So they are very cool. And they are called the Misfits.
I think they should have been called the opposite band. All right, moving on. We already talked about Jamie's pincushion. We got your Wolverine here, Mr. Coker. Mr. Mulligan, where are you? We got your Robin Hood. Mr. Rubinstein, we've got your Yoda, Star Wars portrait. Thundercats, ho! I guess John is actually sleeping in his bed today instead of joining us. Lobos, working hard with the hard hat on. We got your Spider-Man. Mustafa, we got your Mando, Space Western. And some Card Captor Sakura. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are your featured art prints. I hope you enjoy them. Go just claim them if you want them. Claim Thundercats and let Pete help you out, or go to MBartist.com and fill your boots with platinums, fine arts, and canvases. With the promo code free shipping, you'll get exactly that, free shipping. All right, get that off the board.
You want to see some art?
Yay.
I hope will be accepted by MBartist if I'm lucky and do a little payola.
Sure, Joe. It is
I want to
showing
see
time.
some art.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Show us some art.
Show us some art, Joe.
I don't know. Can you see this one?
Oh yeah, you sent me this. What is it?
It's a girl.
I see it's a girl, but what's the inspiration?
I'll show you the second one, then we'll talk.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, talk to me. Talk to me. What are you doing here?
You know what it's about?
Little Mermaid.
Me neither.
If you ask me about it, I'm going to see he's a tormented girl, and then he's going to say, no,
it's the difference between illustration and art. It's like,
yes.
I don't know. Is it about free flight, ecstasy, spirituality? I don't know. You tell me. But the point is it's open for interpretation. But I just wanted to make some pleasing shapes and colors and a figure ascending, and then you tell me what it means.
Is that from a life drawing?
No, it's a photograph of a ballerina. But then of course I made lots of change.
Oh, that's cool.
And different model.
Is it the same? It looks like is it different paper and different medium?
This is a canvas, and this is paper. I wanted to make this big one, and because it's on canvas, it's done with watercolor, so it was very uncontrollable, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to just have a life of its own and decide what happens after the watercolor melts away, And then this one I just controlled more with gouache. But again, it's like, what are those? What is that? Stars, energy, space? I don't know. But if you like the image, it's an image.
All right, send them. Lisa, high res, 600 DPI.
You could call it Dark Phoenix and sell it for a ton of money.
It's already better than the movie.
Right. But
Anything else you want to show, Joe?
Doing some recreations. These Mustafa are 100% brushed so far.
Oh yeah.
So.
What are these? Like, did
These
you
are-
do the drawings as well? Or?
No. They're recreations of Marvel covers from the 70s, drawn by the original penciler. But, speaking of tools, maybe you've all experienced this. You try to make a tool, a brush, or a pen work for as long as you can. And then when you finally give in and get a new one, it's like taking galoshes off. And now you can fly, It's like, great. I don't have to worry about, is this going to split? It's just like, it's such a relief. But, art supplies are so expensive. You try to make them last as long as you can and probably past when you should have thrown them out.
Yeah, sometimes you have like loyalty to a pen or something. It's like, oh man, it's really, I've done a lot with it. It's time to move on, and you don't want to necessarily throw it away. And then the new guy, it's like you got to prove yourself. The last guy was just so much better than you.
This is my dating. This is my dating philosophy. Yes,
That's your dating philosophy.
Oh my God.
you try to be loyal, but you move on.
Good luck.
Oh.
Mustafa, what do you got?
Not a whole lot. Let's see. I'm doing a Doctor Strange sketch cover right now, but it's kind of a work in progress. This past weekend, speaking of Fran and the gym, it reminded me I got to meet the voice of
Yay!
She and I was like, I gotta at least show her this piece, this 80s piece. The Samantha Newark, the voice of Jim.
Jim, okay.
And I didn't really watch the cartoon, but I was familiar with it. And so she was a big fan of it, and she has one that she wanted me to sign. So she signed one for me, and then I signed one for her, and she said she's gonna put it in her office. So
Nice.
that was nice.
Cool. All right, Jamie, what you got?
Let's see. Just a couple T-shirt designs I'm working on for some friends of mine. Let's see. The first, they're both St. Patrick's Day themed. The first one is this here. Just like having a little bit of fun with it. Yeah. And then the second one is it's inspired by a nickname I guess he had at his workplace, so that's kind of fun.
How do you do the
second
lettering?
one?
How do you do the
Program. And then the second one, I drew the images practically. Colored it digitally. And then here's the second one here. Just went a little nuts with that one there. I got to add the words onto that one.
Was that Brendan?
No.
So
He would have a Cubs hat on if it was Brendan.
So you don't care what ethnic group you insult, is what you're saying.
I think that was Brendan.
It was by request. And then this one is one I'm actually kind of proud of. I'm working on doing the artwork for this Civil War series that some friends of mine are working on. It's like historical fiction, but it's really, really cool. Just the story behind it. Miners' March is what it's called, and this is the image that I'm putting together for that there.
Oh, cool.
What's cool about the story is there was actually soldiers, females that dressed as males and fought in the war. And the story kind of relates a fictional account of one of those such stories. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I'm working on some artwork for that.
Too?
No. Don't denigrate it. No, it's Miners' March. It's a really cool story. Civil War. It's if you like history and things like that, I think you'd enjoy it.
Cool. So, how pleasantly surprised were you with the reception of your Boba Fett?
Really pleasantly surprised. I got people were hitting me up. They say, "Hey, I want to do a pre-order." So I was like, "Okay." And then I sent you the pre-order emails and stuff like that. And then at the show we were at last weekend, I think it was, people were like, "Oh, that's really cool. I wanna get that one." And but they wouldn't do the pre-order. They're like, "If you had it here, I'd get it now."
Yeah.
Like, well, you can still do a pre-order.
Yeah.
You can still get a pre-order, but no, they weren't digging it. They were like, "Yeah, I'll wait till you have it." I'm like, "You wait till I have it. You're not gonna get it."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you can wait. You're not gonna get it though.
Oh, you're gonna get it. It
was interesting that it was the first time we actually got a bunch of pre-orders from just holding up an iPad. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
good for you, man. Congrats. You should be proud of that one. All right, Fran.
Well, I just want to show something. It's a mission I did, but I have here the progress because I think it's interesting to show sometimes how it works stuff. So this is just like when I'm doing a commission, I'm thinking just different poses, which one I want, and everything. All this part is digital because it just saves me time. What we were talking about, and then after I have something I like, I usually stop around this area and then print it and work it out. But in this case, I just went a little bit more crazy. Oh, man. And the
Warrior
color
Nun?
and other stuff. No, it's a Star Wars character.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay.
So I'm going to sound really old here. How do you do that?
And then that is Procreate. Procreate do that themselves.
Procreate.
I print the thing that I wanted, and I trace over this and do the actual digital commission. But see, I mean traditional commission. But even I was just playing with colors and stuff, and I really like how the commission ended. I don't have it with me now because I sent it already, but I think I took a picture of how it looks at the end. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know what happened. But if I find it, I'll show it to you. But at the end, it looks pretty cool. I did it with markers, so it's not gonna stand for 30 years. I'm sorry, Joe.
He won't be around. It's fine.
Oh, Mustafa!
Sorry.
So anyway.
Anyhow, I just want to share that because I think sometimes people ask me about the process, and it's like for me, when I work on digital, it's faster, and I can just like the one that I want, blow it up, and kind of make a more clean sketch. Then I print that one, and I use the line table, and trace the commission and do it traditional.
Mustafa, do you use Procreate too?
No, and I giggle every time somebody says that word.
Why? Why do you giggle?
Get it?
Really?
Get it?
Procreate? Really?
Get it?
Yeah.
Like that people use that word and don't realize like what it's been for thousands of years before like the last 10 years. It makes me laugh every time. I would use it.
As cool as you. I mean, come on.
All right.
Yeah, I still use Photoshop.
Yeah. 2.5 minutes. We know. So Steve, we were talking. Okay, you mentioned Boba Fett earlier, and I've already talked about. I know. I thought it was going to hurt my sales of my that thing, right? The Star Wars Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I sold more of that in this little tiny show in Dallas than I have in like weeks. So I might be wrong on that.
I sold 3 acrylic Boba Fett today.
Yeah.
And I sold one of the one you're pointing at. I sold one of those as well.
Good. I sold like 4 medals the first day and then another couple the next day.
Yeah.
And as I was handing it, I was like, so what'd you think of the show? And like, you know what? I liked it. So I might have been wrong on that. A lot of the internet might have been wrong on that show. Maybe it is going to help Star Wars sales for us this week.
It helped Jamie.
Good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
I think we had about
we call it good timing, Jamie. Good timing.
Yeah. Now, if you draw Boba Fett with a little more like padding and the dress coming down, that'll be a real test if that sells.
Isn't the meme Daddy Fett? They're calling him Daddy Fett.
Yeah, something like that.
That
Papa
actor,
Fett, something like that.
the actor who played Boba Fett in the TV series, he played him years earlier. Where?
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
He played his
Django.
dad, basically.
Yeah, it was Jango Fett.
He played the
Jango
clone
Fett.
that he's based off. Yeah.
He also played every clone in those movies.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't his voice though.
No, it's his voice. Not in the clone.
Oh, in the movies, yeah. I thought you meant on the cartoon.
And then they redubbed them for the special editions for Empire and Jedi.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Oh, lame. I didn't know that.
It's not the original. It's Timu Morrison. That's his name.
Timura Morrison. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're actually. I think the chatter right now is that he's going to be in Ahsoka as Captain Rex.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Rex?
Rex is one of the clones.
Yeah, he's like the commander. He's like the field general or whatever. He's beloved. He's an awesome character.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
they carry him through Rebels as well.
Yeah. Yeah. He's cool. You'd like him.
Does he take his helmet off?
What now?
In the cartoon, does he take his helmet off?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
a bunch of
Okay.
them.
lots of times.
So,
Yeah,
so that'd be cool if he does, and he's got like a different like haircut or something.
yeah.
Oh, they have tattoos, haircuts,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, that'd be cool.
And then
Yeah.
as they started going on, they started giving them different personalities too.
Yeah. Okay.
So like from an actor standpoint, that's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Like because you can be different characters, but the same voice and the same. Anyways, and then in Return of the Jedi, they basically retconned one of the extras in the Endor scene to be Captain Rex. So they basically carry that thread right through.
Yep.
Can I take over for just a second? Mustafa was talking about what I would do on Procreate. Go ahead, laugh. Go ahead.
No, I just don't know when you've ever asked before to take over.
I think it works better the other way.
Yes, that was very Canadian of you,
have to
Joe.
ask, the answer is no.
Let me be Canadian. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just happened upon one of the things I did on Procreate on an airplane, and I'm pretty sure I did it just with my fingers. So it was like,
It's best to procreate with your fingers.
all right.
Oh, that's cool. You did that finger painting?
Yeah, because if you look at like the highlights on his forehead, that's like my thumb just erasing.
Oh wow.
You know, so I was just trying, and you know, it made me want to get more sophisticated programs and really figure out how to do this stuff. But you know, again, after a while, it's like I'd rather learn to be a better painter. So I just stopped doing it. But you know, people tell me I should learn computer so I can manipulate the traditional art I do as needed. But
Do you feel like maybe there's something to be said about messing with digital art might make you a better traditional artist? Like you say, be a better painter. You think maybe you could learn little tips on Procreate that you could translate into real life?
I wouldn't know till I get there.
In what context?
I know that when I tried to mix colors and you have to pick this pink and this blue, it made no sense to me. But when I found one where it says where I can actually mix it like a palette, then it made sense because that's how I do it. So because how could you possibly know what the right color is till it gets there, you know, on a canvas, and then it's within context. But I used to do in my all day in painting class. In the morning, I would do pastels, and in the afternoon, I would do oils. And I recognized that the pastels made me understand how to mix better colors with the oils. So it's not inconceivable that using colors and layers might just make me think like, oh, there's a combo. But again, I wouldn't know till I get there. But in my mind, since I work with all the media, it's all the same thing. Edges, shapes, colors, values. Just do you put it down dry or wet, or do you put it down, you know, with your fingers or a brush? So I hope that my understanding of drawing and painting would be applicable. I just have to figure out how to make a layer do whatever a layer is supposed to do, you know. Because
this would be an interesting exercise. Do like you did with your girls, where you're just shapes and colors and just trying to create something. What if you did that and then tried to recreate the same thing digitally and just tell us what was the difference in the process?
If I knew how to do that, like I said, when I did this charcoal head, everybody thinks it's a real charcoal, but it took me 4 times as long. I mean, because I just.
But also, it was one of the first times you were using this new media. If you keep doing it, that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, look, if I said for the next month I will learn to do digital art, I'd like to believe I would get competent at it. But I got other stuff to do.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if somebody hired me and just said we got to train you to be a digital artist, it's like, all right.
Well, that's a cool question to drop down to Francine and Jamie, because they're younger and they're more into the digital realm than we would be. Fran, when you
Of course, this is me doing digital. No. So this is what I was telling you before. Sorry, guys. Like, I have here already these trays, and then I'm just like traditionally working on the piece that I start digitally. And this is all because I really love traditional. So what I don't start completely traditional from scratch is because it will take me more time to get to the sketch that I want to do. And then once I have the sketch, I will have to redraw it on the size that I need it. So all that thing, I can get it faster on the computer printed out designs that I needed, and then I just like trace it and start painting on top. I still love this part so much, but the digital part helps me to get to this faster.
Well, there's the question I wanted to ask you, because you come from the other end where you learned digitally and then started embracing traditionally. So where did you find that doing that, was it more of a struggle to go tactile, or did you find some benefits and tricks you learned doing digitally that we wouldn't know about because we came the other way?
Well, that's not completely right, because I start traditionally. It just like I moved to digitally pretty soon, I think. But I started learning traditionally, and I love it. But as soon as I knew that there was something called the Cintiq that you can draw directly in the computer, I was like, oh, I want to try that. So I try it, and I encountered that I could do things faster. And to me, my head always like getting to whatever you need faster was gonna be better, work-wise related. This is very early thoughts. Young stupid girl, but that's what I moved to the traditionally so. I mean, sorry, to the digitally so quick. But I start traditionally, and I really appreciate that. Now, what I think is that I would like to work traditionally more before I move to digitally, because what I feel is everything that you learn traditionally, you can apply it digitally much more easy. While on the other way, there are a lot of stuff that I learned to do digitally first, like the use of layers, of how the blending modes work, that when I want to try to replicate that effect that I know how to get in a computer, and I want to replicate it with markers or with watercolor or with paper, it's so much difficult because I have another mindset of how to get that.
But
So
wait
I
a second.
think, yeah.
But you were a child. You picked up a pencil and a piece of paper. Of course, you started traditionally.
Yeah.
I mean, did you not pick up crayons and watercolor? So you must.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I started traditionally. My niece is 12-year-old. Yeah, and I think even she being this young, she started first time with pencils and crayons and stuff. But she moved very quick to traditional
digital
mediums, and digital mediums, yes, and she draw beautifully. But still, one thing that I really like about her is like she's doing these very cool things on her computer. But still, she likes to draw on paper. When she see me or she see other artists drawing on paper, she feels compelled to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, over to you real quick. You get the last word.
Okay. So what was the scope of the question again?
The Mandalorian. Did you like it?
Oh yeah, of course.
If you find that because you learn as a digital artist first, that there are things that you learn there that otherwise you wouldn't know that you can apply on the traditional art.
I mean, every piece I do always starts out traditionally. I always draw it on paper first. And then from there, the coloring is more so decisions about like basically just coloring it. Like we used to do a lot more traditional coloring, but it takes so much longer and there's so much more to do now that digital is just a way to like kind of cut corners. You know, like, okay, I can't spend, so many hours on one piece. I got other stuff to do. So how can I get this done faster? Digital is the way to go. I mean, if I had my druthers, it'd be cool to like do more traditional stuff as far as the coloring goes. But I mean, I've tried drawing digitally. It is tough as far as like the feel, like overcoming that feeling of like drawing on paper, holding a tool like a pencil, making those mistakes and everything. I love that part of the process. That's what thrills me about drawing. So I don't think I'll ever change that aspect of it. But coloring it for digital is the way to go for me. That's where my scope is gone.
The one thing I will say about drawing that I do like better digitally than traditionally is that when you do an 11x17, you're restricted in terms of the depth of detail as you go back in the image. So it's like if you're drawing a character like that's going to be 1.5 inches, on the paper, you can't get the same detail as you would this big, where digitally you just go whoop, 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 and then you just go to town. And then when you bring it back down, like I remember at Nelvana, when we used to do the movie posters, I would have to do each character separately, and then we would scan it and recomposite the image so that it would have the tightness of the character as if I did it that big.
But why do you want?
Right.
But why do you want a background character to be that tight? Because they would lose detail as they recede into the picture.
Because depending on how you print it, if it's just an 11 by 17, who gives it crap, right? But as soon as you go,
when you're going to poster size,
okay, right. So it's like when we do our stuff, you can get it 12 by 18, you can get it 40 by 60. So once you start, it's like, oh, that's tight, that looks great. As soon as you go 40 by 60. And my lovely wife just walked in. She'll tell you. She'll go, ooh.
You know, those two pieces I did, they may be backdrops for plays, like story-told drawings for the back of a play. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the imperfections amplified. I'm looking forward to seeing all the drips and things that happen when it's hand done than when it's a computer where it's all smoothed over. But that's just this one project. Somebody else might think it's too crude. But I want to see what happens when things are blown up way past what you thought they'd be.
Well, it's like the perfect real. Like I went and saw Beauty and the Beast when they did the IMAX tour.
Yeah.
And I was just like, some of those long shot scenes, you're just like, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways, it's 4:30. Jamie, we gotta wrap this baby up because at the top of the hour, I'm doing a spotlight with John Hebert. We're doing drawing like we did with you last week and Fran 2 weeks ago, and then later tonight, I'm gonna be slinging some plastic on the toy house. Yeah. But before we go, what are we asking our friends out there in the ether to do?
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and send us questions. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Answer some questions.
Send us anything.
Let's get a back and forth going.
There you go.
What about maybe some suggestions on why they would like us to talk about?
Yeah. Well, my suggestion is I'm hungry and I got food. So until next time, on behalf of Joe Rubinstein, Mustafa Musa, Jamie Coker, and Francine Delgado from the Great White North and all points in between, good night, everybody. We'll see you at the top of the hour.